He's going to take it himself for a championship.
A double play wins it for Frazier. Jordan to the end zone. What a catch. McKay's on touchdown.
Into the layup goes at the buzzer.
Wins it. The championship.
And good afternoon and welcome to the Division III State Football Championship game. I'm Rich Haskell along with Norwich football head coach Mark Merniak. And Coach, we're looking ahead to the next game. The sun has come out for the first time, certainly today. The field looks like it's completely ready to go. And we're not going to talk too much about the other games, but after that first game, this BFA Fairfax game against Windsor is going to be very hard to top that.
These young men have a tough act to follow, but I'm sure like the excitement that they have, and they competed against each other already, and I'm sure they're going to be ready to go. And they got some butterflies right now, and it'll be good to get out there and get a couple hits in and get settled into the game.
These teams very familiar with each other. They play each other every year. First time they played was week 1. A game at Windsor won 40-33, so we're expecting a shootout today. We're back with the kickoff in just a moment here from Rutland.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
We're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo.
You see mine did it?
At Price Chopper and Market 32, we want to help you shop smart to get the best quality and value for you and your family. That's why we created More Ways to Save. Just use your Advantage card to save your way with weekly specials, price chops, lowdowns, stock-up savings, fair to compare, and Advantage rewards. Now that's smart shopping. More ways to save at Price Chopper and Market 32.
Back here at Rutland as we're just about all set to go. Still 5 minutes left on the clock, but don't let that fool you. I think we're going to be starting pretty soon. A very late, long first game, as we said, in a big upset. Mount Anthony defeating Bellows Falls to snap the Terriers' 23-game winning streak in a double overtime thriller. We came into that game, Coach, talking about points, run. Who first team to 60 wins it? All the cliches you could think of. And honestly, I look at this game and I see the same thing. But you got to play the game.
That's for sure. On paper, it looks like the same thing, right? Like two high-powered octane offenses, and BFA comes in running that veer offense, and they go as their quarterback goes, right? So the decision making, they put the ball in his hands and they give him the opportunity, and if he makes that right read, they're gonna have productive plays. So I think for Windsor, the key is when you're playing a team like this is to mix up your reads on the defensive side of the ball, and make that quarterback's decision making. Make it difficult for them, so give them a bunch of different looks, especially on the perimeter. Who's got dive, who's got quarterback, and the pitch component of it for them will become really important.
So thanks for joining us here on the NFHS Network. We appreciate it. And welcome to the VPA Football State Championship on behalf of the VPA and the Vermont State Highway Safety Office. We hope you enjoyed traveling the beautiful roadways of our great state. If you happen to be here today, by practicing engaged driving, you helped ensure that you, your family, and the teams and fans here with you arrive safely, too. Traffic safety is a team sport. By the way, this year's programs are free and digital and easily accessed from your mobile device. You can find the links you need at vpaonline.org. Thank you to our digital program partners at the Vermont State Highway Safety Office, Community National Bank, Booth Brothers, Price Chopper, and Market 32. And if you're planning a get-together, let Price Chopper and Market 32 help. Pick up your free Let Us Entertain You brochure and choose from a wide selection of delicious platters, including apps, deli meats, cheeses, shrimp, desserts, and more. Order online at pricechopper.com. First time these teams met, week 1. It's so hard to figure out what that means. But one thing's for sure, lots of points and 2 very closely matched teams, as Windsor won that game 40-33, and they have steamrolled everyone ever since.
Yeah, and, especially, again, the style of offense that BFA is going to run. I think as the season progresses, as long as you stay healthy, you just get better and better at that. We always say if you're going to face a veer team, I like to call it an academy-style rushing attack, so that spread veer triple option type stuff. You want to get those teams early in the year, because by the end of the season they're clicking on all cylinders and they feel really comfortable with it. So even though they saw this, they're familiar with each other and they saw this offense, as long as everybody's healthy, I think it's going to be run at probably a little bit quicker pace than they might have seen week 1.
These two teams, Yellow Jackets and Bullets, met each other in the championship game in a snowstorm last year, and the final score is 53-7 for Windsor as they completed an undefeated season. Another undefeated regular season so far, and they've had very little problems getting to the finals as expected. They won in the quarterfinal game back on October 29th, 38-0 over Springfield. And then last week they steamrolled Mount Abe in a game down at Windsor by a score of 45-6. As far as the Bullets go, they beat Otter Valley in the quarterfinals up in Fairfax 18-6, and they defeated third-seeded Mill River also at Fairfax in the semis last week, 35-14. So not as much scoring on the BFA Fairfax side, but they bring some defense. So it's going to be an interesting game, and it's going to be played in sunshine. This is a rare sight to see. It has either been raining, it's been raining or dark as night this entire afternoon and morning. Well, we've been here, so we've got a great break in the weather. So here we go. BFA Fairfax Lamoille will be in their road as the lower-seeded team, the 2 seed at 8-2. They'll be in their road white with, you want to call that maroon?
Yeah, that's
all
maroon.
Right, let's go with maroon. I'm sure there's some Crayola crayon color that you could, but I wouldn't know what it is, so we'll go with maroon, traditional Fairfax Bullets colors. And, of course, Windsor is always in their home uniforms, dark green with the yellow.
That's Vegas gold. I'm going to go with Vegas gold on that one.
Okay. It's some semblance of yellow, and we're all set to go. Great to have you along the Division III championship game. And the kick will come down to BFA. Fairfax goes right through the intended man's legs, and luckily for him, it goes out of bounds at about the 2-yard line, and that's a break for Fairfax right out of the gate as Lucas Langlois had it go through his legs. And
we've seen that a couple times already. Like you mentioned it earlier on this synthetic turf, that ball starts to bounce. It takes some weird caroms and some spins that are unorthodox sometimes, and it definitely went that, scooted through his legs, and fortunately for him, it went out of bounds.
So this is the 3rd straight championship trip to Rutland for BFA Fairfax Lamoille, and they have not won it since 2014, so they're certainly coming in hungry as we're all set to go.
Out in that veer spread option, they motion across.
Cooper Harvey, the quarterback, and they get it out to about the 40-yard line. Nice 5-yard scamper on first down.
Running the double option right there. Just the fullback in him. They didn't have the pitch component of it involved that time, but again, it comes down. They leave a man unblocked on the line, man on the line of scrimmage intentionally, and the quarterback is asked to read that player.
And Shad Gibson, the big runner as well. He did not play in the first meeting between these two teams, and he gets it right now and pulls his way through the middle of that Windsor defensive line and picks up a first down and about 4 more. It'll be first down as the Bullets go right to left here in Rutland.
Got in the eye that time and took the decision-making out of his hands and turned around and ran ISO to the side where they had the unbalanced part of the line, the slot back.
So 1st and 10 at the 48, just underway here in the D3 championship game from Rutland. This time the pitch to the fullback and an outstanding play. Nowhere to go. Charlie Zapsky, the fullback, no space in on the hit for Windsor.
Yeah,
Mason Fortin, who's also the quarterback for this team.
Excuse me, sorry about that. You got to sometimes feed the fullback the football on the perimeter. Sometimes you give him some opportunities to get the ball on the edge.
So it'll be a 2nd and 10 now for the Bullets, going right to left. They send the man in motion over to the high side, and the give once again goes to Zapsky. Not much, if anything. And we got a dead ball foul. The flag flies, and it's going to go against BFA Fairfax Lamoille and send him back. The quarterback, again, Cooper Harvey, who wears number 34.
Which is, he is going to, especially if the read takes him to it, he's going to carry the ball as much as anybody. So it's fitting that he has that number on today, because he will carry it a lot today.
As they send Caden Lovejoy over to the left side. One man split up out high as well. They send the back in motion to the high side and give it to Zapsky. No, it's kept by the running quarterback, and he breaks a couple tackles, but there's just nowhere to escape. And down goes Cooper Harvey after, we'll say a loss of 1, and that's going to set up a 3rd and long now for the Bullets.
And Vance Martin was the read player for Windsor on that play, and he was playing defensive end, and on the previous 2 times when they ran the option, that time he tackled dive. That time he was the unblocked player. He let the dive player go, and he was all over the quarterback on that play.
Gibson the setback. They send one man out to the high side, one to the low side. The quarterback is Cooper Harvey. Sends a man in motion to the high side. They give is to Sean Gibson, but there is just absolutely nothing but green shirts. Nowhere to go. And we talk all about this Windsor offense putting up those piles of points every day, but they're showing some serious run defense right now.
Absolutely they are, and they're ganging up at the box, kind of forcing them to throw the football, and they did a really good job to force this punt.
So the Bullets with the first punt, standing at their own 30-yard line. 2 Windsor players waiting for what's a good snap and a very nice kick, and that's going to go a ways. And it's inside the 15. It's going to be stopped right there by Cooper Harvey for BFA Fairfax Lamoille. And the Yellow Jackets will come out, and what a season it has been for them. I mean, you just look at these scores. So far this year, points per game. They've scored 40, 50, 46, 42, 41, 34, 48, 43, 38, 45.
Wow.
So their lowest scoring offensive output this season is 34 points. So let's sit back and watch the show. We'll see. They got 40 against BFA Fairfax Lamoille in the first game. And here we go, breaking a tackle, and there they go. 20-25 up to about the 30-yard line, finally brought down after a big gain.
Straight ahead give to the fullback, the player who was positioned in the fullback type position.
Logan Worrell, one of the many fine running backs. Travis McAllister, Brody Osgood, Gavin Martin. You're going to be hearing all the names. Quarterback again is Mason Fortin.
Actually, Rich, that one's coming back. I think they called holding on that play. I'm not quite sure.
So it'll be 5 yards. So it'll be a 1st and 15 at the 9-yard line. As the Jackets go left to right on what's turned out to be a very nice day. This will not be confused with last championship Saturday.
That's for sure.
As they played through snowstorms. Reversing field and looking for some running room.
Windsor came out in an unbalanced formation that time. They brought the tight end over. He was covered up. He's an ineligible receiver. Brought the slot over there, so they brought an unbalanced formation into the boundary.
That was Travis McAllister on the carry for Windsor. He picked up 5, so back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be a 2nd and 10 for the Yellow Jackets at their own 15-yard line. McAllister and Worrell in the backfield. One man split out to the high side. They send in a man in motion as well. They give to the second man. Pretty good gain there for Logan Worrell, but he gets corralled. Nice hit by Charlie Zapsky on the defense for BFA Fairfax.
Bring the wing in motion. They have the jet sweep component off of that, and then the ISO back to the tight side. Block down with the tackle and guard, and block out with the tight end, and bring the fullback up through the isolation on the linebacker.
First big play defensively for the Bullets here on a 3rd and 5. Deep in Windsor territory.
They are unbalanced again, so they only have a guard and a tackle to the boundary side. They bring the guy in motion. There's the jet sweep.
And they send it to Travis McAllister, and nothing there. Outstanding play. Oh, he's still on his feet. He may regret it, though, and he does. It cost him another 5 yards. Original hit was again made by Zapsky for the Bullets.
Did a great job on the perimeter of forcing that thing to cut back. And, you know, the young man was trying to make something and probably should have just put his foot in the ground and cut his losses.
So it's going to be a 4th and 10 now, and of course they'll be kicking away pretty much at their own goal line. So good job by the Bullets defense on that first drive. The punt is a pretty good one. High, catches up in that wind, and a fair catch is made by BFA's Sean Gibson, and the Bullets will get their second possession of the game now in very good field position, almost halfway through the first quarter already. Two running teams makes for quick games.
For sure. And here we were bragging about the points again, and the defense is showing up.
Yeah, good thing they don't have over-under betting in high school football, because we both thought that first game would be about, the over-under would be about 100, and it was 14-14 heading into overtime. Bullets send a man in motion, and the give is to Sean Gibson. Again, wrapped up. Boy, these Windsor guys, it's not solo tackles on this Yellow Jackets defense. They are really getting it done over there.
Shall we say swarming to the ball.
Swarming Yellow Jackets. I see what you did there. Stick to coaching.
Okay. That's a good idea.
So it'll be a 2nd and 8 now. The Bullets go right to left at the 40-yard line of Windsor. No score here in the first period. The Division III state championship game from Alumni Field here in Rutland. Man comes in motion. The quarterback keeps, and he gets some pretty good yardage. Cooper Harvey's put up some big numbers as far as rushing totals this year up in Fairfax, and he picked up a bunch there, but he's still going to be about 4 yards short. As the ball's at the 36-yard line, I would assume it's 4-down territory for the Bullets.
Yeah, it looks like they're boxing their ends, and what I would call boxing their ends, meaning they're going to put their ends on the quarterback player and force them to give the dive, and he kept it and followed the fullback up inside the hole.
Caden Lovejoy goes out in motion, splits to the side. The run works big time. Pickup of about 12 yards from Cooper Harvey. And that'll be a first down as they'll move the chains with 5:41 left to go.
Same type of scenario. They ran the veer to the offensive left side. The defensive end stayed outside to play the quarterback, and the quarterback put his foot in the ground and just cut it up inside.
So Harvey with Gibson behind him. In split to both sides, and the give goes to Gibson. Got something there, found a little bit of a hole and scampered for about 3. Down to the 22-yard line. We'll call it 2nd and 7 now for BFA Fairfax Lamoille.
So they've done a good job of mixing up their predetermined gives with their read run game too. So sometimes they're putting it in the quarterback's hand and making him make a decision, and sometimes they're turning around and just giving an automatic give.
Zapsky now in the backfield as they send a man in motion. They give to Zapsky, and right there, outstanding read. Causing a short run there. Several players in on that one. Logan Worrell in the defense.
Straight dive, giving it to the fullback. They're trying to establish that component of the run game. It opens up everything else. Like if you can get 3 to 4 yards of carry on that, then you're in good shape if you're running this style of offense.
Lovejoy split to the left, one man out high on 3rd and 4. They send the man in motion to the high side, and the give in a big hole is Sean Gibson, and he's got himself a first down. Had to get to the 15, and he got that and more, down to about the 13-yard line. First down for BFA Fairfax.
In business, and again, mixing between the option run game and the power run game.
Eric Wimble with a nice block on the offensive line there, among others. 4 minutes to go here in a scoreless first period in the Division III championship game. As Zapsky and Gibson now in the backfield. The give is to Gibson. Has a hole into the 5. No, not quite the 5. Got to the 6. And it's going to be 2nd and about 3, but Boy, that offensive line getting it done for the Bullets right now. Big holes to run through.
For sure, getting a lot of movement up there. Sometimes there's double teams at the point of attack, and sometimes there's single blocking it. But some really nice running lanes.
So 2nd and 3 at the 6 for the Bullets. Looking to draw first blood here in the first period. They give to Gibson. He jumps off a couple of tackles. Weaves his way through traffic down to about the 3-yard line. It'll be probably enough for a first down and goal, and it is. So 1st and goal at the 3 now for the Bullets with 3:10 to go and the clock moving in the first.
They might not take it out of the quarterback's hands right now. Then you might see a QB follow or some type of keep.
Yeah, he's had a stack of touchdowns this year as they send the man in motion to the far side. You called it. There it is. And backing his way into the end zone for a BFA Fairfax touchdown is Cooper Harvey.
Really nice run there. Made something out of nothing. They actually made a guy miss. I'm not sure that if he was looking at that on film, if he wouldn't have given that football, but kept it and made a guy miss and twisted into the end zone.
And their kicker is Hugh Johnson III. The right footer blasts it, and it goes through the uprights. So with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go, BFA Fairfax Lamoille draws first blood. They lead Windsor by a score of 7-0. And this is an unfamiliar place. Obviously, it's ridiculous even talking about a deficit when you're still in the first period, but this is not a place Windsor is used to being.
No, that's for sure. And again, how do they respond? How do they answer? They know they have the firepower offensively to be able to do that. You don't have to panic. There's no reason to do that right now. Do what you do offensively. Run your system, and you'll find yourself back into this.
Vermont's championship football teams win with Spalding. Spalding is proud to provide the official baseball and softball for the VPA championships as well as footballs, and they wish all the teams the best of luck. We talked about Windsor just steamrolling their 2 opponents, beating Springfield by 38 and then blasting Mount Abe 45-6 in the semis. A tougher road for the Bullets. They won 18-6 over Otter Valley on October 29th in the first round and then defeated Mill River 35-15 in the semifinal game last Saturday up in Fairfax. So here we go. 2:50 to go. Ball is on the tee. The kick from Hugh Johnson ends up in the hands of Mason Fortin, the quarterback. He breaks a couple tackles, still on his feet, finally drilled out of bounds just before the midfield mark. But a big return there for the quarterback. Making the play was the kicker, Hugh Johnson III.
You see these D3 teams, and these kids play every snap. They play on offense, they play on defense, they're in the special teams, and obviously on the kick return unit, that's probably not a lot of people put their quarterback out there, but he was out there, got the football, and was able to get a big return and put him in great field position.
So Fortin with Travis McAllister behind him, along with Logan Worrell, and he sends the man in motion to the near side, and the give is to Logan Worrell, and he gets into BFA Fairfax territory with a 5-yard scamper. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Same play that they opened the game with. That isolation and reverse pivot, give it to Worrell.
.218 left to go in the first. BFA Fairfax Lamoille on top 7-0 here in the championship game. The man comes in motion again, and once again it's the give to Worrell, and he's got a big hole and a first down and then some as he picks up 14 and a first down for the Yellow Jackets.
Bring the wing in motion, try to get some people out of position, and then again up inside. This is nothing really fancy. We added a little bit of window dressing, as I like to call it, to that one, to try to pull your eyes to the outside, get the guys looking in one direction. But this is straight ahead, downhill running football right now.
Bradley Bowers on that front line, big kid, springing Worrell on that last play. This time to give is to McAllister, left side, still on his feet as he reverses, still going all the way down to the 25. Did a lot of that on his own, and he's close to a first down for Windsor. I think he's going to be about 2 yards short. We'll call it 2nd and 2.
Went to that unbalanced formation again. It's a tight end over formation, and they're just trying to outnumber their opponent at the point of attack.
Only 8 seniors on this Windsor team. You look at what they did to the rest of the league with only 8 seniors. That's not what the Division III teams around the state want to hear.
No.
There's an interesting move. That's going to definitely come back no matter what Fortin does with that play. And he knew it, so he just ran the ball. I'm not sure that was the original call.
No.
Things got a little scrambled in the backfield. Had 2 men in motion at the same time, and the last time I checked, you can't do that.
Can't do that.
So that'll stall the drive a little bit for the Yellow Jackets. Send it back to the 32-yard line. It'll be a 2nd and 7 as we get ready to enter the final minute of a very fast-moving first period here from Rutland. McAllister and Worrell behind quarterback Mason Fortin, the senior. Calling signals on 2nd down. And the give is to Worrell. Bounce off one tackle, but not much else. In on the hit was Cooper Harvey, again the quarterback. Also, Charlie Zapsky. We've been saying his name an awful lot here in the first period.
Yeah, there was a really nice Darius Pelton with a great fill there on the fullback. There was a little bit different type of a collision in that hole that time.
Probably 4-down territory here, but still, you've got 3 more yards to go. See if they get one more play off with 16 seconds and the clock moving here in the opening stanza from Rutland. Worrell now the lone setback. They send 2 receivers out left and to right for that matter. Let's see what they do here as they send one of them in motion. They fake the give. Holding on to it is Fortin, and there's just nothing there as he gets swallowed up on the defense by BFA Fairfax. Making the initial hit for the Bullets was Aiden Fisher. And that's going to bring the first period to a close. We finished one here in the Division III state championship game from Rutland High School. After one, it's BFA Fairfax Lamoille 7 and Windsor 0. You're watching state championship football on the NFHS network.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 12 million participants in America who take part in high school sports or activities.
We're going to get the second quarter underway here as they put up a new 12 minutes, along with Norwich football head coach Mark Merniak. I'm Rich Haskell. Sammy on camera, by the way, doing an outstanding job here. I promised him I'd mention him in the first broadcast today and completely blew him off. So you're now going to get mentioned many times during this game. Doing a spectacular job following all the action for you here on the NFHS network. We appreciate you tuning in. Here we go with Windsor on a big play. Oh, they needed to, and I don't think they got it. Logan Worrell again. And look at that line. Gang tackling all over the place. In on the hit first for the Bullets was Hunter McGillis. And they turned the ball over on downs. That's just not very Windsor-like at all.
Absolutely not. Big push on the initial charge from the defensive line there. No place to go. Clogged up the holes. He bounced. He tried to bounce out a couple of gaps, and everywhere he went, there was a Bullet standing there.
So BFA's offense back out there. They can somehow, and you talked about this earlier, but this is sustained drive time if you're BFA Fairfax. You don't necessarily have to score, although obviously against a team that puts up 45 points a game, you want to score every possession. But just keep the ball out of their hands for a while, and it's not going to help when plays like that happen, going absolutely nowhere.
Absolutely not.
In on the hit for Windsor was Vance Martin.
So they went a little bit opposite of what they normally do. They had the slot back lead for the fullback on that particular play. Usually it's the other way around, and they brought him in motion, and they used him to lead and handed just a reverse pivot belly to the fullback.
Titus Percy, another one of those 8 seniors, made the play as well. And the handoff again. Nothing there, and there's Percy again. So it's going to be a 3rd and long, probably 3rd and about 8.5, maybe even 9 for the Bullets right now.
be curious if they try to spread this formation out a little bit and try to pass, or just maybe get your quarterback out in the perimeter, give him a run-pass option on the perimeter here.
So Cooper Harvey brings him out on a 3rd and 8. Minute and a half gone here in the second quarter. 7-0 Bullets. They have the ball. Harvey looks like a busted play there. Somebody missed an assignment, and that is not going to do it. They pick up about 2 or 3 yards on the quarterback sneak. Don't think that was the plan there, Coach.
No, I don't think so either. And again, just making sure that the quarterback doesn't get out. The 2 defensive ends for Windsor are really trying to force that football back inside and making him, put his foot in the ground and get in up there where the rest of the linebackers are, and not allowing him on the perimeter.
Fairfax will have to kick it off, and that almost got blocked. Boy, that was close. And it takes a Windsor bounce, and it's still going, and BFA is going to want to get on that ball, and they finally do. As grabbing it was Aiden Fisher.
Well, a huge 3-and-out by that Windsor defense after getting stopped on 4th down. Like, you have a defense, you go for it on 4th down, you get a stop, and then to get a big 3-and-out and get the football back that was a huge stop for that Windsor defense.
So this vaunted Yellow Jacket offense back out on the field, 0 for 2 in their first 2 drives. I suspect that's not something you say very often. But they have great field position here already in Bullet territory at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10 going right to left. Mason Fortin, the quarterback. And he fakes the give to McAllister. He's in a world of trouble, but his speed may get him out of there. 50, 44, 46-yard line. Almost a horse collar there right down in front of us, but they're not going to call it. Play made by their other team's quarterback, Cooper Harvey.
Those 2 kids are really good athletes. Again, they're all over the field. Great job of staying at home. Like, they faked the outside run away. And, like, if you're on the defensive side, you're not going to make that play. So what you can do is play the bootleg off of that, and he stayed at home and was able to force him out of bounds.
Fortin with a rushing touchdown and 2 touchdown passes in a 45-6 win in the semifinals last week against Mount Abe down in Windsor. 2nd and 7. Fortin sends the man in motion and gives it to that gentleman. Not much there. He breaks 1 tackle, but down goes Travis McAllister. Another great play by who else? Charlie Zapsky. Also in on the play was Darius Pelton for the Bullets, and they are giving this high-octane offense fits on the defensive side so far early.
Zapsky got a reach block. He maintained good leverage. His pad level was good. He kept his outside arm and leg free and forced it back inside, and then shrugged across the defender and made that initial hit.
So it's now 3rd and 6. See what they decide to do here. 1 man going out. He's on the high side. 2 men in the backfield, and they're going to fake the handoff, and rolling to his right is Fortin. Still rolling, still going. The pursuit catches up to him. There's just nobody open. That's a secondary play right there. A great job by the BFA Fairfax secondary. Fortin just had nowhere to go. I was surprised he didn't tuck and run a little bit earlier there. He seemed like he wanted to throw it till it was too late.
Absolutely. I think he had his initial wide receiver may have had the defensive back beat, but he was just not in a position to throw it in time. He was looking for the crossers, waiting for somebody to come open, and just decided to tuck it and run it.
So what do you do here, Coach? I mean, you've got nothing going offensively. Do you try to change the momentum? Or, I mean, if they don't get this, you're going to start getting in your head that maybe they're dealing with a tough defense here.
There's a timeout here. They're going to think it over a little bit longer. One of the things that we do is we take our offense on the field and we give our quarterback a play, but then we force their defense to get out there without a returner back, and we use our quarterback to pooch it, right? Like if we feel they're not going to have a returner back and you can pin them and you like that situation, you maybe pooch kick there. I don't know if they have that in their arsenal or not.
So as some of the 2023 Norwich football opponents may be listening in, getting some classified information here. If you're planning a get-together, let Price Chopper in Market 32 help pick up your free Let Us Entertain You brochure and choose from a wide selection of delicious platters, including apps, deli meats, cheeses, shrimp, desserts, and more. Order online at pricechopper.com. 9:06 to go, second period, and let's see what the Yellow Jackets come out of that huddle with and decide to go for it here. 4th and 5, and it looks like they are. Oof, big play right here early in this one.
I think you put the ball in Fortin's hands, give him the opportunity to make that decision. Oh, here we are, unbalanced formation again. Last time they ran a little bit of a sweep. The man will come in motion.
Worrell the only setback and a whistle, and this may change some minds about what they want to do.
That sure does. It looked like they came out trying to draw the defense offsides, and they jumped themselves.
So that, I assume, will change the play.
And potentially the formation, too. I don't think they're going to come out in that unbalanced look here on this 4th and long.
Well, now you're looking at a 4th and 9, and if you're playing the field position game, you would think they'd want to boot it away here. They're still in BFA Fairfax territory, but that's a huge gamble when you're already down 7-0 and the offense is sputtering. Granted, that's not likely to stay for 4 quarters. They are going to go for it. Wow.
Single setback.
Yeah, Worrell. Back to pass. Running for his life. Gets a block. Worrell in front of him to the 50, to the 45. Oh, that's going to be close. He had to get to the 38-yard line. And a late call. There's Fortin in there. Pelton with the hit. Also in on the hit was Sean Gibson. What are they going to call here? Wow. So that answers the question if there was any mystery as to whether it was a first down or not. It's a first down and a whole lot more, and that's a huge play right there. Going for it on 4th and 9, or 4th and 6, I believe it was.
Such a good athlete. Once, he got him outflanked, and then it was a foot race from the defensive backfield and the quarterback to the sticks, basically. They were on a foot race to the first down marker.
So McAllister, and Worrell in the backfield now for the quarterback, Mason Fortin, the aforementioned very athletic quarterback for Windsor. And the give goes to the first man through McAllister, and that's Worrell, and he picks up a first down. I believe he had to get to the 10, and they will move the stakes. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. And boy, you look back on that call, Coach, on 4th and long.
Yeah, that was a huge play. And then the personal foul penalty. And the kid's always trying to do is prevent the first down on a 4th down play there and just, finish the play. It was just happened to be a little bit too far out of bounds.
Worrell and McAllister behind quarterback Mason Fortin. 1st and goal. First trip to the red zone for the high-powered offense of Windsor. Bouncing off and getting close to the goal. He didn't quite get in as Worrell.
Really hard run there. Able to really break an arm tackle early in that and then just put his shoulder down, just trying the best he could. He secured the football. He put both hands around it and just tried to bury himself into the end zone.
So they mark it at the 2, as it turns out. Fortin calling signals under center, trying to tie this game up. Calls his own number, and he did not get in. He's driven back by the BFA defense. And now it'll be 3rd down. 2 more chances to go 1 yard. Bellows Falls, with their season on the line, had 2 chances to go 1.5 yards in the double overtime and couldn't do it. So Windsor might want to do themselves a favor here and stick this one in on this play.
For sure. You got to be really careful around here. Kids watch TV and they want to extend that football over the goal line. You got to make sure you have the ball secure down here. The last thing you want to do is fumble.
Worrell directly behind Fortin. See who he gives it to, or if he keeps it, he gives it to Worrell. Off left tackle, and did forward progress get him in? Yes, it did. Logan Worrell makes it 7-6 from 2 yards out. With the extra point pending, 7:10 to go here in the second quarter. So it won't be a shutout.
No.
And they are going to go for the kick here.
Appears to be a young lady kicking this extra point.
Yep, and she has been very good this year. I think I read 34 for 37 on extra points. The left footer booms it through, and we've got a tie ball game. That would have been good from about 40. So I've been hearing she's quite the soccer star, and boy, she shows the foot she's got as she blasted that one south onto Route 7. 7:10 left to go, and the teams come back up the field now after a 2-yard touchdown, and we are tied here in the second quarter. So no surprise, first game right down to the wire. This one looks like it's heading that way too.
Yeah, and again, go back. We have the fourth down stop. Windsor defense comes out, forces a 3-and-out. They get possession of it. The huge fourth down conversion, 15 yards tacked onto that at the end of that conversion with a late hit out of bounds, and then they were able to get back into their rhythm and what they do once they got on track and in that first down and went right back to the run game, which is what got them here.
So the Windsor fans breathing a sigh of relief. Another big crowd as Windsor will be kicking in, and I never thought I'd say this statement, into a very strong sun. Big time glare coming from the west. There's no sign of sun for the first game, and certainly not for the drive home. And I don't remember hearing sunshine in the forecast today, but we are happy they have it. Squib kick, and one of the up men for BFA is going to grab it. It's Zapsky, and there is nowhere to go there. Nice job by the kickoff team of the Yellow Jackets.
See a lot of those squib-type kicks. Both kickoff units choose to employ those squib kicks. Get that ball bouncing around, and then you don't have to, it allows your cover team to get down there where you're not skying one. If you don't have the type of depth that you need, kick it on the ground, make them feel a wacky bounce here or there, and get your coverage team down there.
Worrell, after his 2-yard run, made that nice play on that kickoff with 7:06 to go now here in the first half. 7-7 ball game, and here come the Bullets going left to right. And the quarterback, it looks like, is going to keep it. That is Cooper Harvey. Yards, for some reason, seemingly hard to come by here in this game, other than that last drive, which was helped greatly, as you said, by a major penalty. But this is not the 17 yards average run kind of a first half. It's been a real tight ball game so far.
One of the things that an offense like this could do if they want to get to the pitch part of it, you might step back and run like a lead or a speed option where the fullback's going to go block. Sneaking up inside there, the quarterback.
Boy, Cooper Harvey getting that yardage all on his own. Had a 2nd and 6, and he got the first down. Wow, he was pinned way back, and he got that first down.
Yeah, they're not letting him keep it to the outside, so he's choosing to keep it to the inside on all these plays. Again, Windsor boxing it, keeping those ends outside, forcing him to give to the fullback and or cut it up inside.
Gibson the setback, one man split out high and low. They send the man in motion, and another keeper for Cooper Harvey. He has a little bit of running room, and he just will not go down. Another first down, all on his own.
Good for them. They did find a way to get Cooper on the edge there and on the perimeter. They brought the slot back in motion and then pinned the defensive end there and got the quarterback out in the perimeter.
And again, Logan Worrell making the tackle. He's doing it all on both sides of the ball here in the first half for the Yellow Jackets. So 1st and 10 now inside of Windsor territory. They mark it at the 46-yard line. Gibson the setback. We haven't seen him run the ball too much. He did not play in the opener, week 1, a 40-33 victory for Windsor. He's got it right now. And absolutely a face mask. That was right in front of us. I have a feeling that's what's going to be the call. So a nice 4 or 5 yard run. I think they might be adding some yardage to this one.
Yeah, personal foul is going to put 15 yards on this drive.
Yeah, that was a very easy call to make, as I'm sure you saw on the broadcast. As one of the Yellow Jackets got the hand around the face mask of Cooper Harvey, and it wrenched his head back, and it was a very easy call to make. So that'll move him way down. All of a sudden, the ball's now at the 25-yard line, first down. Fairfax comes out of the huddle. Harvey with Zapsky and Gibson behind him. And he gives it to Gibson. Has some room. There's a flag back in the holding area. Gets all the way down for a first down inside the red zone, inside the 15. But let's see what this is. Holding Fairfax. It's coming back. Usually when you see a flag in that spot on that play, you know what it means.
Absolutely. They chose to go to a toss play, too. They desperately are trying to get outside of those defensive ends and get on the perimeter of this. I think that's where they find their explosive plays. So They're doing it in some creative ways right now.
There we go. So it is a 1st and 10, but boy, they lost a chunk of yardage right there. It's all the way back to the 38-yard line of Windsor. 5 minutes exactly left to go on the clock moving here in a 7-7 tie in the Division III state championship game. So 1st and 23.
They went right back to the toss.
Gibson, not much. Maybe 3 to the 35.
And Fortin closed the door up there and forced that thing back inside.
Also Avery Bean, a junior over on the far side, turning that play in, making the hit. So it's going to be 2nd and a lot, 20 we'll say. See, I want to throw some more geography. Whenever it's like 3rd and long, let's go 2nd and Mendon. I have to remember down here in the Rutland area what towns are that direction.
There's the quarterback keeper again.
Oh, boy. Ooh, big hit at the 23, but he's going to have a 1st down. Cooper Harvey. Oh, correction, he's back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, two sets of sticks right there. Fooled me at first, too.
So it'll be a 3rd and about 9 now for the Bullets. Still, nice run. Makes it a little more manageable. And, of course, now you're in 2-down territory, 4-down territory.
That's for sure. And again, I think you're going to make your decision on what you're doing on 4th down with this 3rd down call, right? Like, are you going to try to get this to a 4th and manageable with the run, or are you going to try to go after it with something in the play-action pass game?
Gibson and Zapsky. They give his to Gibson, and there is nothing but green shirts right there. No gain, and now it's going to be a 4th and 9. I'm assuming they're going to go for it here. Let's see what Coach Craig Sleeman of Fairfax decides to do. But you can't. I don't think you can kick it from there. So you're kind of in a catch-22. You kind of have to go for it no matter what the yardage is. As the clock continues to tick down to 3 minutes in a 7-7 tie here in the 2nd quarter.
I think they want to keep it in the quarterback's hands if they can, right? It seems to be what they like to do in these situations.
And you are exactly right, and that play is not going anywhere. And it's a fumble, and Windsor's got it. Falling on the ball, Travis McAllister. I mean, really, that's a fairly insignificant event. I mean, you see fumble and everyone's excited, but they might have gained about 3 yards out of the fact that there was a fumble because they would have gotten the ball back anyway.
Absolutely, and Vance Martin had him wrapped up there right on the end of the line of scrimmage, and he was going nowhere. I figured they might try to keep it in the quarterback's hands, and I think Windsor thought the same thing.
So with 2 minutes and 45 seconds, plenty of time for this high-octane Yellow Jacket offense to operate, and they have all 3 of their timeouts left. McAllister and Worrell have had the workloads here in the first half, and they get it this time to somebody different. That's Gavin Martin, and he picks up some pretty good yardage and gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 2:40 left to go.
Had a slot receiver that blocked down, and they pulled a guard to try to lead around for him.
Gavin Martin, just a sophomore for the Yellow Jackets. As I said, only 8 seniors. Great majority of this roster, 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. Is not what the rest of Division II wants to hear. As they send Corey Lockwood out to the left. No one out on the high side. 2 on the running back. They send the man in motion.
Here's a bootleg.
And they fake it. Fortin looking, throwing. And he's got a man wide open at midfield. It's caught. Still going down to the 40-yard line. That's a 1st down and more.
And the last time they did that, he was waiting for someone to come open. He bought his time this time, and someone did come open. It came all the way across the field, and he kind of got behind the defender. They put a short defender in front of him, kind of brought up that flat, the defensive flat defender, the cornerback, jumped on the shallow, and they threw the ball behind him with a guy all the way from crossing from the other side.
That was Roger Peterman, big, tall kid. That's tough to defend. Well-run play right there. Executed perfectly. Found Peterman wide open at midfield. He took another 10 yards. So here we go. The clock moving at the 2-minute mark. They send the man in motion. They give it a misdirection play. Lots of running room. He gets the blocks. Looking for a flag, and he gets it. This is coming back. What a great executed move, but that one's not going to count. Strange call there. BFA Fairfax on the block begging the referee to call a penalty. He didn't. Then he did. And it's going to cost Windsor 6 points.
Yeah, it's like what we call a counter crisscross, and it's so they take everybody in one direction and then hand it back underneath, coming back to the short side, and executed really, really well.
Now, as a coach, does that drive you nuts when the kid throws his arms up and then the flag goes? That must drive you crazy.
It sure does. It sure does.
Especially when it's a result as a 40-yard touchdown.
Absolutely.
So 1:48 left to go. Ball back now at the 46-yard line. It'll be 1st and 20 for the Yellow Jackets.
We're always just telling our guys, if you keep moving your feet, right? Like if you keep moving your feet, speed gets holding penalties.
Yep. Fortin. That is 46.
There's the bootleg again.
There he goes. Still has the chance to throw, and he does. Finds a man open, 35 down to the 29-yard line. They still have all their timeouts left, so no real big hurry here for Windsor.
Looks like that's a first down.
Wow.
Too.
1st and 20, and they picked it up right at the 30-yard line.
Kind of at the end of that play, they reverted to scramble rules. So quarterback, once he's out of the pocket, you have a set of routes that you run in a design play. But once that quarterback breaks the pocket, we go into what we call scramble rules, and it looks like that's what the back did there.
Boy, nothing says confidence in your offense more than you have 3 timeouts left and you take a full-time huddle. Once again, that same guy who ran a couple of runs ago, Gavin Martin, same play, and he gets out of bounds on a sweep left, and that'll stop the clock with 1:12 to go in the half. No need to use any of your timeouts there. But that really does exude a lot of confidence, doesn't it? When you're still 30 yards away with just over a minute to go, and you're in no hurry.
Yeah, they want to use as much of the clock as they possibly can.
Yeah, that's a new trend in football. The Tom Brady rule, I think. Keep it out of the other team's hand, if there or Mahomes or any of those guys. If there's more than 30 seconds left, you're screwed.
Absolutely.
They send the man in motion, and the give goes to the tailback, Logan Worrell, and he surges forward for a couple of yards to the 20.
Really good tackle there by number 53, and I'm sorry, Matthew, I do not want to pronounce your last name. I would butcher that.
Of course, his mother will be listening, and we'll get a
sorry.
call.
I am so sorry.
Verbancore?
There you go. Thank you, Rich.
Like I know. I'll try it and hope for the best. 46 seconds again. Windsor in no hurry here. Clock moving as they send one man out to the right side, 2 men in the backfield.
There's a bootleg.
There's another bootleg looking long.
Cross.
Nobody open right now. They throw it. Almost completed the play. That was a lot closer than I thought it was. The secondary was draped all over everybody in the end zone, and that almost worked with 34.1 left to go.
Man, I would like to see the replay of that. I think Fortin was dangerously close to being over the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. You have to be very careful with that.
Yeah, it's at the 19. That's about where he threw it from. So 2nd and 10 now at the 19-yard line. Windsor breaks the huddle. They'll deploy 2 running backs. One of them is Gavin Martin, who has seen his first action in the last 5 or 6 plays on this drive. In fact, he's now the lone setback. They fake the give to him. It's going to be a keeper on the misdirection. The quarterback to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and he is in for a touchdown. From 19 yards out. Outstanding. Mason Fortin, 19-yard run.
And just a couple of really good moves in the open field. Got the defender to stop his feet twice with a start-stop, a little what we call dead leg, like stop, get the defender to stop, go again, get him to stop again, and just was one-on-one in the open field, and offensive won that battle.
Boy, and showing great patience and common sense in a situation like that, just letting the play come to him as McClay will try to add the extra point. That one's booted low and no good. So with 25 seconds left to go, Windsor has their first lead of the game here in the state championship game, which is brought to you by Booth Brothers Dairy. Booth Brothers and H.P. Hood are proud to support the Vermont Principals Association. Booth Brothers milk comes from local farms providing milk from cows not treated with artificial growth hormones. Thanks to the dedication of local farmers across the state, Booth Brothers milk meets the highest quality standards. Learn more at Booth Brothers Dairy. That's Booth, B-R-O-S, dairy.com.
That protection on that extra point, there were 2 defenders that were able to get through and get a hand on that and kind of deflect that outside. And again, like, you don't think much of that play in the moment right now. But once you start missing an extra point or getting off schedule, then, you know, as the game goes on, you start thinking about 2-point conversions. If this game stays tight, the scoring and going for 2 and all of that because of that blocked extra point comes into play.
Yeah, the way these teams score, who knows? I mean, would 43 to 42 surprise you in any way? Long way to go. Short kick picked up at the 25 to the 30, and finally getting knocked down for BFA Fairfax.
Let's see what Coach Schliemann does here. He's got his timeouts now. He's got 20 seconds. It's a team that really doesn't throw the football that much. Right. Is he content with, let's go ahead and run this, make them use their timeouts or run this half out, and we'll go to the locker room and go from there.
Jacob Matthias returning it back on that kick. 8 yards on the return. Tackle made by Anthony Cook, a junior on the kickoff team. So let's see what they do. Looks, well, I was going to say going into the V formation, but that is not the case. They're going to pitch it out McAllister, and he rambles forward for about 7 yards out past the 40. Actually, that was Fortin. Or, correction, that was Sean Gibson. Gibson's put up some very big numbers up north this year, but we haven't heard much from him here in the first half.
No, and they decided to use the timeout there again. Maybe they wanted to see what happened on first down, right? Maybe if they get stacked up, they let it go, but they got some positive yardage, so they chose to take the timeout. And 2 to 3 more plays, depending.
You're right. This is a tricky play because I did all the Middlebury games this year, and in the first half of the season, they'd find themselves down, and they just don't pass the ball, and it's tough when you're down 20-7 or whatever at the half, and everyone knows you're just going to run.
Yeah.
And of course, it kills a lot of the clock. They know you're going to have to run to the sidelines. There's a lot of variations, or I should say a lack of variations, when you run the ball so much.
Yeah, and you don't want to get too far out of character and throw a pass and do something that you haven't done all year and give them another opportunity to put one in. So
the give is to Sean Gibson, and nothing doing.
Yeah, and I think they're just going to let this one run out here.
Wow, they called a timeout with 5.7 seconds left to go. Coach Schliemann playing it right down to the wire here in the first half with his team down by a score of 13-7. Cooper Harvey with the first points of the game on a 3-yard run. That put the Bullets up with 2:50 left to go in the first quarter. The extra point by Johnson was good. It was 7-0 heading to the second period, but Windsor has taken over here in the second stanza, as they often do, scoring their first touchdown on a 2-yard run by Logan Worrell with 7:10 left to go in the first half. The extra point by McClay was good. It was 7-7. And then with 25 seconds left to go, a nice drive capped off by a Mason Fortin 19-yard run, putting the Yellow Jackets up 13-7. McClay's extra point was short. So that's where we're at right now as we approach the end of the first half. So they call the timeout. Let's see if they have any trickery here or what the plan is. If you're Windsor, not much. It's interesting. They call the timeout to just... You can't call that taking a knee. It seems like all you're doing is setting your team up to get injured or a fumble on a play like that.
I don't know that he got the snap clean, or if he was trying to sneak that, or I don't know if he got the snap clean or not on that one.
Interesting. So we're at halftime. Very entertaining. Another close game. Hope you'll come back for second half action here at Rutland. Our score at the break: is Windsor High School 13 and BFA Fairfax Lamoille 7. You are watching the Division III Football Championship from Rutland High School on the NFHS Network.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
We're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid heard that solo.
You saying I did?
Yeah,
At Price Chopper and Market 32, we want to help you shop smart to get the best quality and value for you and your family. That's why we created more ways to save. Just use your Advantage card to save your way with weekly specials, price chops, lowdowns, stock-up savings, fair to compare, and Advantage rewards. Now that's smart shopping. More ways to save at Price Chopper and Market 32.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 12 million participants in America who take part in high school sports or activities.
Just about all set for the second half. They delayed putting the broadcast on because I couldn't finish my turkey sandwich fast enough. And I'm drinking for the first time in my life something called Capri Sun Fruit Punch, which just tastes like liquid sugar.
Nice.
No wonder kids love it. Anyway, back here at Rutland, we are heading into the second half. Windsor, the favorite coming in, clearly, number 1 seed, steamrolled everybody. The only close game for them, really, was this game for game 1, first week, against BFA Fairfax, 40-33. And sure enough, it's a close one. And for the second straight day, 2 high-powered offenses coming in, but we haven't seen a lot of it, not in this game for sure.
No, and again, it's trying to find out how, especially for BFA, how's Windsor going to play that triple option. It looks like they're, forcing that give. They want to get the football out of the quarterback's hands or make them follow it up inside. They don't want them out on the perimeter. So let's see what type of adjustment Coach Sleeman will go to. And actually, BFA on defense has played pretty well. Shutting Windsor out in the first quarter. They've kept them intact for sure.
So we're at 13-7 right now. Fairfax actually scored first. Nice drive, about 3 minutes left in the first period. Cooper Harvey with a 3-yard touchdown. Hugh Johnson, the third, with the extra point. That made it 7-0, but then Windsor scored early in the second quarter on a Logan Worrell 2-yard run. And late in the second quarter, 25 seconds left, Mason Fortin with a nifty 19-yard scamper. The extra point no good, and that's where we're at 13-7. As far as keys to the second half, what do you think, Coach?
We got BFA has to get the football out on the perimeter. I mean, I think they have to get some explosive plays, maybe try to pitch the football off of that triple part of things, and then they got to keep Fortin in check. Whenever Windsor needs a big play, it seems like they go to Fortin. He converted on a huge 4th down, and then obviously kind of took the game over a little bit down near the red zone and called his own number and kept it and was able to make somebody miss. So they got to keep Fortin in check for BFA and then try to get the ball on the perimeter. I think for Windsor, keep doing what you're doing, right? Run your ISO play, run your offense. And, as long as you don't turn the football over, right now you have the game in control.
So Hugh Johnson, the third, who added the extra point for the 7th point for Fairfax, has the ball on the tee. He'll be kicking it to McAllister and to Worrell. And it comes up to neither of those people, to the short guy. And boy, they got to get some good field position off that kick. As making the tackle was Joseph Brock, a linebacker on the kickoff team. But wow, Windsor's going to have some great field position here just inside midfield.
Looked like that was Gavin Martin that snagged that out of the air. He saved a ton of field position by just making a pretty athletic catch on that. I don't know if they were trying to pop it over the front line on that. The last time they've been kicking it on the ground and letting it bounce a little bit. This one was up in the air, and Martin snagged it out of the air and gives Windsor, the Yellow Jackets, great field position to start this third quarter.
So the 23-game winning streak on the line. We already saw one of them disappear. Bellows Falls losing the Division II game to Mount Anthony, but Windsor in a little better shape right now as they immediately take it. Logan Worrell, who was the workhorse for sure in that first half, gets the 3-yard game, we'll say, but he does get it into Fairfax territory. They'll sit it at the 48-yard line right now.
Ran the football to the split side there, bounced it to the outside, and was able to pick up 4 on that.
As the sunshine beats down on Alumni Field. Who would ever expect this? Although it matches what we've had for the entire fall when you think about it. It's been a long time we haven't been up here in winter jackets for these broadcasts. As McAllister carries it. He gets thrown over by number 57, as you saw, Aiden Fisher, the linebacker for Fairfax.
They spotted the ball there where he first made contact. Fisher actually threw him forward there for a couple extra yards, but they got it where the contact was made.
It's at the BFA Fairfax 45-yard line. We'll call it a 3rd and 4, just underway second half. Windsor trying to extend their 6-point lead here in the third. They get it to McAllister, and he slips and falls after a very short gain. That's going to come up short. So what do you do here, Coach?
4th down, I think you're going to go to it. And what we've seen here in the past is on their 4th down plays, they like to keep the football in Fortin's hands. So they might bring motion across, reverse pivot, let the backs get out in front of Fortin, give them that run pass option on the perimeter.
So we'll break the huddle and see what happens here as the clock continues to move. Minute and a half, but not quite a minute and a half gone here in the second half. And here comes Fortin. McAllister and Worrell standing at midfield. And he's going to keep. 45, 40. Knew exactly where he had to go. Takes a nasty fall. And what have we got here? It's going to be a first down. That was quite a fall Fortin took. There's a flag on the play, too. The little plastic that they put down behind the bench on both sides sent him flying onto a very hard track. Unnecessary roughness on the offense. You don't see that too often.
No, so it must have been after the play or something like that, and it was downfield. I didn't have my eyes there. I was watching Fortin, like you say, scramble exactly. He got exactly what he needed. He knew exactly where he was with the first down, and was able to get that. They did call his own number. You see some of the coaches down there talking to the young man. I think that might have been guilty of the extracurricular, just pointing out how big of a play that is with field position.
So the down marker says first, the scoreboard says fourth.
It's first.
Okay. At the 45, they send the man in motion, and the give comes to the second man through, and he gets it up close to midfield for a gain of about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Yellow Jackets.
Couldn't see who tripped him up. Somebody just tripped him up. They had quite a bit of running room there, but they're just able to get enough of him.
So it'll be 2nd and 8 at the 48-yard line.
Tight end wing down here to the boundary.
McAllister and Worrell. They send the man in motion, and they give it to the second man through, and a big gain for Travis McAllister. First down and then some, all the way down to the 40-yard line. And here comes Windsor.
Same play that they ran early in the first half, the one that got called back on the holding penalty that we talked a little bit about the defensive guy calling for the holding penalty and got it. That was the same exact play. Run, hand it off to the back. The back actually hands it off to the other back on a counter motion.
Pelton and Harvey on the tackle for the Bullets. Fortin rolls right, throws, has a man, incomplete. Intended for Roger Peterman.
Peterman couldn't pull that one in. Fortin put it right on his hands. Pretty accurate with it. They think a lot of that young man. His decision making. They want the ball in his hands all the time.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Clock stopped here in the third period. 9:28 to go. 13-7 for Windsor. Looking for their second straight undefeated, untied state championship season. But they're getting another battle from their rivals. The give is to Gavin Martin, where he likes to go. He's carried the ball 3 times, all the exact same play, and most of them have worked. He'll give him 3 on that carry inside the 40 to the 38, and it'll be 3rd and about 7 now for the Yellow Jackets.
Again, because of where they're at field position-wise, you probably aren't going to see a punt here, right? So now you have 2 downs to get this first down, so you could still run the football here, especially with this potent running attack.
Hey, you wonder if this team has ever punted the ball. I mean, we talked about the points they've put up this year. It's just ridiculous. Way over 400 points offensively this season. It's going to be a double reverse as they give it to Brady Osgood over to the far side. Lots of real estate. 30, 25, down inside the 20. Finally knocked down by Fairfax's Sean Gibson. Might have saved a touchdown, but a beautifully executed play. Offensive line all on all cylinders. Everybody thinking the same thing on that play.
Yeah, same play that they ran 3 plays previous. They did it the other direction this time. So been running it to the boundary. That time they went ahead and put that reverse back to the field.
So Windsor looking very much like Windsor here on their first possession. Already up by a touchdown. And the give goes up the middle to Martin. Not much there. Aiden Fisher also on the hit. was Matthew Verbancourt. I kid you not, I got a text on how to pronounce his name during halftime.
Very well done.
Somebody's out there. Apparently somebody who knows my text, my phone number. Can imagine my surprise when I saw that on my phone. It's good to have you with us, everybody. We do appreciate it. It's keeper Fortin, some room, 15-11 or so. It's going to be, I think, about a yard short of a first down.
Yeah, sweep on that one. Just reverse pivot, put it in one of your best athletes' hands, and let him pick his way through some traffic.
You're seeing him go to the sides a little bit more here in the third.
Sure have. It seems like the Bullets are taking away that inside, that ISO play, and they're headed to the perimeter now.
So a 3rd and 1, obviously 4-down territory here. Easy pickings for Windsor, one would think, but we'll see as they send the man in motion. And the give goes to Martin. And he's got a Windsor first down and then some inside the 10 all the way to the 5-yard line.
And just as we say that, back up inside with some motion outside. They pull the motion after they've run successfully outside and then went right back to the B gap and up inside.
Aiden Fisher with probably a touchdown-saving tackle for the Bullets. So it's 1st and goal. Ball at the 7-yard line, 8-yard line we'll call it for Windsor. 2 in the backfield behind quarterback Mason Fortin calling signals. And he's going to call his own number, weaving through traffic, but he is going to be brought down again by Aiden Fisher, getting it done on the Fairfax defense here in the 3rd quarter. And now it's going to be 3rd and goal.
Yeah, that's a student body left play, right? Like everybody's there. They already have the tight end wing set up there. The back's already offset that way, so just under center snap to the quarterback, and then he is running sweep. So it's zone blocked out there. He has the option to pick his way through and cut off the blockers.
Correction, that's a 2nd down. That was a first and goal on that play. Let's see what they do here on 2nd down. Fortin calling signals.
There's
fakes the handoff, rolling right, nowhere to go, and he's going down. Wow, it's a
the
fumble, and there he goes. This could tie the game. 92 yards, touchdown, Fairfax. I do not see any flags.
I do not either.
Sean Gibson. That's the worst guy in the world to pick up a loose fumble with some real estate in front of him if you're Windsor. And just like that, what was everyone in the place expected to be a 2-touchdown lead turns into a tie game and a potential Fairfax lead.
Right when we came on to start the second half, we said, you got to take care of the football if you're Windsor. You have the game in control right now. One of the things that can't happen is you cannot turn the football over. And like just a costly turnover right there. A young man probably trying to do a little bit too much. I don't know if he was trying to. He's been carrying the football kind of one-handed on some of those. And, oh, no.
That's not going to work. Down goes the quarterback who was holding for Hugh Johnson. The kick never happened, so the team's come back up the field now with 6:26 to go. And we have ourselves a tight game. I guess you could call 13-13 a tight game. Second great, close, tense, tension-filled game of the championship Saturday here in Rutland. Our score is 13-13. The VPA's official rankings and tournament brackets can be found online at scorebooklive.com/Vermont. Get the mobile app and follow live scores as well. That's scoreboardlive.com. So there you go. I mean, that's wow. If you're Coach Sleeman in Fairfax, you got to have that because all of a sudden a 20-6 or 20-7 game. You're tied in the blink of an eye.
Absolutely. Like something that they needed desperately was a turnover, and they got it there. How far was that?
92.
92-yard scoop and score is that'll change the game for sure.
I'll say. Yeah, it looked like Windsor was doing what they do. You know, that was fairly close at halftime. They were kind of imposing their will. The offensive line getting it done as usual for the Yellow Jackets. And one little mistake. And, of course, as I said, if you're Windsor, the last guy on the entire Fairfax team, you want picking up fumble it, deep in his own territory as the speedy running back. And
absolutely.
Gibson carried it home from 92 yards out to tie the game.
Let's see if this kickoff goes back on the ground. Nope, in the air.
Line drive, and it's picked up there at the 8-yard line. That's Worrell. Or correction, that's McAllister. Not much there. Making the play on the kickoff team for Fairfax. Who else? Cooper Harvey. The guy's getting it done in 3 different ways for this Fairfax team as the Bullets find themselves right back in it in the crowd. Lots of maroon down sitting in the sunshine in front of us cheering on.
Excellent coverage on that. Now, if you're Molson Fortin, you got to put that play behind you. You got to forget about that. You have to have a short memory, and you have to go and finish this drive the way you intended to finish the last one. You can't let that play beat you more than once.
Fortin hands it off to one of his 2 running backs. Big hole, and that's going to be a first down, 14 yards on the carry for Logan Worrell, who's having himself a big game. Making a saving tackle, Hugh Johnson III for Fairfax. Hey, he almost busted that one.
Sure did. That's a good play call to get them back in rhythm, get their confidence back. Things are okay. We are who we are. Let's hand the football off to one of our workhorses and get this drive started.
Give him 16 on that carry out to the 36-yard line. Give it to Gavin Martin. Another big gain, 9 yards. Again, coach's dream, 2nd and 1.
Unbalanced formation, ran the ISO, and they allowed that one to cut back to the two-surface side on that play.
They've added Gavin Martin to the list here of running backs. It was pretty much McAllister and Worrell the entire first 1.5 periods of this game. All of a sudden, Gavin Martin seems to be the featured back for the last quarter or so. 5:15 in the clock moving in a tie ball game in the Division III state championship, and still on his feet, somehow getting away is Mason Fortin, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage miraculously. It's going to be short of a first down, but boy, Fairfax had that one read perfectly.
Yeah, he got himself out of trouble there, got back to the line of scrimmage. Interestingly enough, at the end of that play again, the ball was dangerously close to coming loose there.
Boncure, I think, was the one who had his hands wrapped around the quarterback, Fortin, but man, is he elusive. You've seen a lot of big rushing totals from him out of the quarterback slot over the year here.
Unbalanced formation again.
3rd and 1, big play, not necessarily 4-down territory. Let's see what happens. Rolling and getting his blocks, waiting it out. He's got a first down for Windsor. Still on his feet. Takes about half the Windsor team to get him down. On the carry there was someone we have not seen. It was Isaac Becker.
Big conversion right there. Move the chains.
Correction, that was McAllister. 22, not 42. Showing my age with the eyesight. We'll call it the blinding sun. How's that?
That's true.
I doubt they'd suddenly throw a ninth grader in there for a huge play like that and hand him the ball. 4:12 left to go as the whole Yellow Jacket team comes over to talk to head coach Greg Balch, who has obviously a very good winning record. Times have not always been so tough. This isn't like Bellows Falls where they just go 8-1, 9-0, 10-0 every single year. Windsor had a couple of rough years there for a while, but boy, the last couple of years they have had some real talent coming through. On a misdirection and a nice play by McAllister breaking the initial hit, and he picks up about 4 or 5 into Fairfax territory down to the 47-yard line if they give him progress.
This game is as it progresses, it's really taken its toll on some players, and kudos to the officials. They did a great job on that last play. There was a young man that was showing some signs of some injuries. They stopped the game. They brought the athletic trainers in to make sure that he was in a good spot. So great job by the officials there taking care of these young men.
Undefeated Windsor coming in with 23 straight victories, looking for their 2nd straight title. BFA getting here for the 3rd straight time, looking for their 1st one. And a big gain inside the 45, slithering his way through a whole bunch of would-be tacklers. Logan Worrell, we don't have the numbers, but he's got to be over 100 yards. He's getting up slowly as Hugh Johnson III. And that's bad on the defense. Keep in mind, though, he is the kicker as well, and we've got a tie game. You don't want to see anybody get hurt, but that may come in play later on. It certainly did in the first game, which was a double overtime affair.
Yeah, and we talked about these D3 kids. They don't come off the field, right? So you're playing offense, you're playing special teams, you're playing defense. You don't have a chance to get a drink.
Yeah.
And you start getting late in a game, especially one as emotionally charged as a game like this, and it starts to take its toll on you physically. So, sometimes the teams that have some depths and can spell a guy and take a guy out, like you said, Worrell is, he's been able to at least catch his breath, and if he comes in fresh against a worn down BFA defense, then that could be trouble.
Yeah, you remember, there were situations years ago, I don't know how long you've been around the Vermont football scene, but teams like Winooski and when Missisquoi was starting and we had 8-man football and things like that, you had Montpelier. Yeah. You literally could not get hurt.
Right.
Even before 8-man football, the teams would try to get away with 11-man football, and they'd literally have 11 or 12 kids on the team.
Yeah.
So you really had to stick it out.
Right.
It looks like Hugh Johnson III, as you can see, is okay.
That's a good sign.
So he will come out.
You have to. The trainers have to step in because these young men, they don't want to leave these games, right? They'll tell you anything you want to hear to get back in those types of games, and these trainers, they're a critical part of the community and the schools and these football programs.
So here we go, 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets at the 40-yard line. And breaking loose is Travis McAllister, and this is what we're expecting to see. You've seen it all season long. Big holes being opened by that left side.
Yeah, and you're getting these 8-yard runs, and I know they are a bit demoralizing at times, but BFA is doing a great job of not giving up the 50-yard run, right? And they're making them drive the field. The last time they did that, they got a turnover on the 8-yard line. So as long as they continue to limit the huge play, they're going to give themselves a chance to stay close.
On the left side, Brad Bowers, one of the 8 seniors on this Windsor team, opening up a huge hole there. And there's another one. It's fake, I should say, as Fortin fooled me, and now he's running for his life back to the 40. And
a ball!
Is that a fumble? No, it isn't, and they're going to call a horse collar, I think, on that tackle. So that's too bad. Everything that could have happened against Fairfax did on that play after it looked really good. You agree that was a horse collar? It sure looked like he just threw him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of situation. I think if you're Mason Fortin, you just got to eat it.
Yeah, for sure.
He's so competitive, and there have been many times in this game he just won't go down. But sometimes that kind of perseverance is going to cost you. Although they'll get away with it here with that horse collar. I can tell you're a coach. You yell fumble every time the ball is out. That was him, by the way, yelling fumble. That's a lifelong habit, isn't it?
That's for sure.
Do you yell that in your sleep sometimes if you're dreaming about football?
Yes.
So there you go. Big break for the Yellow Jackets in a tight game. 2 minutes to go, and the clock moving here in the third. 13-13. Fortin under center. Quick hitter. Throws it over to McAllister, but misses him, and it sails out of bounds. First thought was maybe that was a lateral, so he followed it smartly out of bounds over to the Windsor bench, but it's an incomplete pass, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
I saw some linemen pulling out there. We call that the stand screen, so you split that guy out. You got a one-on-one situation, especially if the D-back's going to play off. Open up your numbers to the quarterback, let him throw it out there, and try to get somebody like a tackle or a running back out to block that corner on it. That was one of their tailbacks that they split out wide there, too, that time, number 22.
McAllister. He's one of 2 men in the backfield along with Worrell. And the give is to Worrell, and he trips over either his teammate or the other guy from Fairfax who was in blocking. And not much there. Maybe a half a yard. It's going to be 3rd and long here. 3rd and 9.5, we'll say. Seems like Windsor's controlling the line of scrimmage right now, but then you look up at the scoreboard, you see 3rd and 10 in a tie ball game.
Yeah, for sure. And they've been able to to get some first downs here, but BFA has kept them out of the end zone.
So we'll say 3rd and 10.
I would imagine that we don't have the statistics in front of us, but they're probably pretty lopsided. But again, the score is knotted.
Lockwood goes to the right. And here comes double reverse to the 30, weaving his way through, closer to that first down, down to the 20. McAllister, who came in over from the right flanker spot. I don't think he made it, but I'm sure they're going for it on a 4th and 1. They've certainly made it a lot more manageable with some trickery there.
Yeah, and they've gone to that same play 3 or 4 times this second half, and again, like it looked like it was a lot more productive than what it ended up. A good job by BFA of just managing it and keeping it to a minimal game.
Oh, we got a big play coming right here. 30 seconds and counting here in the 3rd. Tie score, 4th and 2. Right at the red zone line at the 20. Here we go.
Fortin with the sneak straight ahead.
No surprise, and he is not a big kid, but he is carrying white shirts with him, and that's going to be a Windsor first down. You're right, those kids look exhausted down there, don't they?
Sure do.
And we're not even to the end of the 3rd quarter yet.
That might be the last play of the 3rd quarter here.
And Johnson again hobbling off the field over on the other side, very frustrated. He came back out, went back in for one play, and now he's hobbling back to the Fairfax bench as the 3rd period comes to a conclusion. Our score at the end of 3, stick around, folks. We got a barn burner here in Rutland in the Division III championship game. After 3, it is BFA Fairfax 13 and Windsor 13. Community National Bank, Vermont's community bank, has been serving Vermont communities for more than 170 years. That's even older than me. Community National Bank is proud to support Vermont schools and sports. Learn more at communitynationalbank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So, I mean, you go to keys to the game anymore at this point. It's just run, stop the run, stop the run. That's all it is. It's 2 teams that are just going to run each other's, run right down their throats, and whichever one stops them wins the championship.
For sure. I'm not sure how many snaps that BFA had that 3rd quarter, but maybe 6. But they got the big play when they needed. They forced the turnover. They had the 90-some yard scoop and score, and they've given up yardage. They've given up some first downs. But they've really done a good job here in the red zone, and then with that goal line defense of keeping them out of the end zone. So they've stood tall when it mattered the most. They've been a little bit, but bend but not break with that bullet defense.
Fairfax trailed it at halftime by 6. They scored on that 92-yard fumble recovery by Sean Gibson, missed the extra point, and that's where we're at as we put the final 12 up on the board. And a wide open shot for Worrell, and he is in for a touchdown for Windsor. Worrell with his 2nd touchdown of the game for Windsor, this one from 11 yards out, and all the credit in the world to the left side of that offensive line for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, he wasn't touched until he was probably 8 or 9 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
So Windsor back in a familiar place, leading as Worrell gets his 2nd touchdown.
So here we go. We talked about this a little bit. Even though the score's tied, we're still going for a 2-point conversion here.
Ooh, this is important. Boy, and you got a kicker who's been dead on all season long, so we'll see how this goes. McAllister and Worrell in the backfield. The give goes actually to Gavin Martin. Sweep right. Is he in? Did he make it? Yes, he did for the 2-point conversion. We didn't have a good angle on it, and he got stacked up right at the end line. Referee puts the arms up, and the lead is 7 for Windsor with 11 minutes and 54 seconds left to go here in this ball game.
And I think that's actually the 8. They put it up on the scoreboard now, so now you force that 2-point conversion the other way. If BFA can get that score, but high risk, high reward right there with that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, credit to Greg Balch, the head coach. That is a high risk. Absolutely, especially in a game where you've got a team like BFA who puts up big points. All you'd need is that extra point after a touchdown to potentially win the game, but that's not how it worked. And as you said, an 8-point lead. First play of the fourth quarter leads to a touchdown.
Orwell, again, had, a big opening there, but was, they were able to, Martin was able to spell him a little bit, and I think he was pretty fresh there and ran that in against a pretty exhausted BFA defense.
So 21-13 our score, low knuckler. And it's picked up by one of the up men for Fairfax out to the 20, and that's all as he gets to about the 30-yard line and gets driven back. As making the return for the Bullets was Jacob Mathias. And he picked up a full head of steam, but that disappeared in a hurry 12 seconds in here to the fourth quarter.
Coverage has been outstanding on those kickoffs.
So Cooper Harvey, who's had an excellent game so far, brings him out. Sends Keller Green over to the far side. Caden Lovejoy split over to the near side. In front of the Windsor bench, they send a man in motion, and the handoff goes for about a 2-yard gain out to the 32. It was Zapsky who was the main ball carrier in the first quarter. We haven't heard much from him since.
Straight dive to the fullback, trying to get him going, get that potent read component going with the quarterback, get him feeling comfortable, let him get in the groove with his decision making.
Vance Martin with a tackle from his defensive line position. Gain of 2, it's a 2nd and 8. Man in motion to the high side, and a pitch out, and that is grabbed by whom? I think Windsor. Well, let's see. It's kind of a wrestling match, a little bit of a scrum. Let's see what the refs say. It's Windsor ball. Somebody missed an assignment there as the pitch out went, and the player who was pitched to was not expecting it to come his way. And it was a free-for-all after that.
For sure. I think the running back thought it was going to be a direct handoff, and the quarterback reversed out thinking it was going to be a toss. And he was just basically right next to him. Wasn't expecting it. The toss went up and around his shoulder pads. They were really close to each other, and Windsor jumped on it.
Well, there's the momentum swing right there. You get that lead, you get an 8-point lead, you hit the 2-point conversion, you got some momentum, but now they are in business with a high-powered offense as they give it to Worrell. Not much. Initial hit there for Fairfax was made by Aiden Fisher.
Outstanding knife through and put an end to that right now. And again, like the trouble for the Bullets right now is their defense is back on the field again. It seems like they've been on the field this entire second half.
It really does. So big stand here for the Bullets. If they want any shot of winning this championship, they're going to need to knock it down right here. 2nd and 10. It's off to a good start for the defense. Fortin fakes it, hands it off, and we've got about a 5-6 yard gain on that play inside the 25. Guys carrying at that time was Brody Osgood, just his 2nd carry of the game.
A little bit of a sweep. He's been lining up as the wing, offset on the tight end there, and so they brought him in back behind with a handoff, almost like on a sweep action off of that wing from a tight end.
So 3rd and 5, obviously 4-down territory here for the Yellow Jackets. I'm sure they'd love to get it a little closer for 4th down than 5 yards, but we'll see what happens here. It's pitch out, sweep right. Here comes Martin. Martin breaking tackle, still on his feet. Finally knocked out of bounds by Matthew Verbencourt. And Windsor off the turnover, all set, 1st and goal.
Outstanding run. Like you said, broke some tackles through there. Was really patient off of that pitch, the toss. Out to the right, allowed his blockers to get out in front, and then did the rest himself. Just a really fantastic run.
So Fairfax could use another one of those 90-something fumble recovery returns here because they're back up against it right now, already down 8. And Windsor knocking on the door again after a turnover. Fortin sends the man in motion. Hands it off inside. Worrell goes in for the touchdown. Logan Worrell. That is his 3rd touchdown of the game. 2nd already here in the first 2.5 minutes of the 4th quarter.
Reverse out, lead on the belly play. Tight end or tackle blocked out, guard blocked down. Running back lead, reverse pivot, give it to Worrell, and he's in, like you said, for his 3rd score.
Yeah, they go back to doing it the old-fashioned way by kicking after a touchdown. Olivia McClay, who has been really good this year. Left-footed kicker. Snap good, hold good, kick looks very good from up here, and sure enough it is. As teams come back up the field with 9 minutes and 28 seconds left to go, Windsor taking control, looking for another state football championship in Division III. The Yellow Jackets lead BFA Fairfax Lamoille by a score of 28-13.
You want to see this right now, like, okay, guys, let's not panic. Can't score a 15-yard touch or 15-point touchdown, right? We got to do this one play at a time. Let's get ourselves back into it. I know this, Coach Sleeman's team, they're going to fight to the end, but just take a deep breath. It's easy to put your head down right now and be demoralized, but just take this one play at a time. Start it with this drive. Start it with this return.
Well, I know they don't care, but I'm sure a lot of the Fairfax players remember losing here 53-7 in the championship game last year. So, I mean, at least they're still in it.
For sure.
That game was over about the same time the ball was kicked off to start it. There we go. Short kick, and that may travel out of bounds, or will it? Yes, okay. I was going to say, that's kind of a dangerous move for Sean Gibson to let that roll, but he's got a much better angle on it right there on the field than I did.
For sure, and again, like, all the momentum is in Windsor's favor right now. You just got to string some positive plays together. It's easy to kind of look up at the scoreboard, look up at the clock, and things get overwhelming a little bit. But just get out there and finish this thing the way you started it, and play this till the end.
You wonder if they saw what happened in Game 1 today. Bellows Falls coming in with a 23-game winning streak, the exact same winning streak that they have with Windsor. And Bellows Falls' winning streak ended in the championship game. That provided maybe a little extra incentive to say, you know what, we beat these guys most of the time, but anything can happen.
For sure.
Carry now for Charlie Zapsky, the fullback. Picks up some pretty decent yards on first down. They just need to hold on to the ball right now. The turnovers cannot happen. Ball's at the 39-yard line.
Brought the slot guy in motion and then turned around and tossed it to the fullback. And he's normally a straight downhill player, and they were able to get him out into that BC gap.
Second and about 6 at the 39-yard line for Fairfax. They head right to left in their road whites. The pitch goes to Gibson, who has been pretty much silenced by this Windsor defense. Gibson's had a big year up in Fairfax. He did have that 92-yard fumble recovery, which temporarily tied the game midway through the 3rd quarter, but it's been all Yellow Jackets since. And now a big play coming up here for Fairfax. They're going to entertain any ideas of getting back in this game. They need to get a first down right here. And I wouldn't be surprised if they went for it on 4th if they don't get it in a broken play. And another fumble. Cooper Harvey coughs it up, and Windsor's got it. Recovering the ball is Windsor, number 56. That's Charles Palmer, one of the seniors. And the Yellow Jackets have the ball and a 15-point lead as they go back on the offense here with 8:17 to go in the 4th.
Wow, what a big play by the Windsor defense. And sometimes when you're running that and you're exchanging it so many times in the run game, the opportunity for fumbles to happen, a little bit more prevalent. So unfortunate there for BFA, but Windsor also helped to force that.
Yeah, second half turnovers certainly have been a bugaboo. No question about it. Bouncing off tackles. Worrell, that's your player of the game, certainly on the offense so far for the Yellow Jackets, if they can hold on and win this game. He has been really good. Nothing fancy either. Just puts the head down and goes. So a 5-yard gain for Worrell, the running back on first down.
I think we're going to see a steady diet of those two backs taking turns, and then if they get themselves into a 3rd and long or a 4th down situation, they're going to put the ball in Fortin's hands and allow him to get it. But right now, you're going to see a steady dose of those two running backs, I believe.
And I would say away from the sidelines for the most part as well. There goes Worrell again, and look at him go. Another first down inside the 30, down to about the 27-yard line. And that'll be another first down as they move the chains for the Windsor Yellow Jackets, although we'll see. There's a flag on the play. It's been a relatively penalty-free game. Ooh. Personal foul on the defense. That's going to be a big one. And, of course, if you're Fairfax, that's absolutely the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. 15-yard penalty tacked on to the end of that.
So that's going to send it into the red zone and more. As Windsor looking like they might run away here in this 4th quarter. They've scored twice in the first 2.5 minutes, both on runs by Logan Worrell of 11 and 2 yards, and they're knocking on the door again. This is a well-oiled machine. First time, of course, we've had a chance to see them this year, and I can see why they've steamrolled everybody in Division III.
Much of the same. Coach Balch has done a really good job. They were here. A lot of these kids were on this field last year too. And
McAllister and Worrell in the backfield. It's Worrell. Nice cut inside, and he looked like he was heading for the end zone. Nice tackle. They're saving it by, I think it was number 30, Gabe Nyland Funk, who's played the whole game on both sides of the ball. But good yardage sets up a 2nd and about 2. And more importantly than anything for Windsor, the clock continues to move. 6.5 minutes left to go here in this one. So McAllister and Worrell once again, although McAllister splits out to the left side this time, so just one man in the backfield. Fortin sends McAllister in motion. Gives it to Worrell. And Worrell is close. He's in. 4 touchdowns for Logan Worrell. This one from 5 yards out, and it's certainly looking rosy for a back-to-back for the Windsor Yellow Jackets at this point.
Absolutely. The offensive line is just leaning on that BFA defensive line and linebackers, and just right now it just looks like that defensive unit is exhausted.
McClay, and she booms it through for the extra point. With 6 minutes and 14 seconds left to go, all of a sudden the complexion of this one is completely changed from a tie ball game going into the 4th period. 3 touchdowns in less than 6 minutes for Windsor, and now we see why they put up 50 every game, as they are having their way on that offensive line against BFA Fairfax, and our score is now 35-14. Hey, I'm sorry, Coach. I was just going to say, parents, family members, and fans in the stands, the VPA encourages you to be the good example, be a good fan, and be a good driver. If you feel different, you drive different. Traffic safety is a team sport.
Yeah, and two turnovers, 2 consecutive turnovers in a row, and they set them up in great field position and forced the BFA defense to get back on the field. And it's been all Windsor here pretty much since about the end of the 3rd quarter, beginning of the 4th quarter.
Yeah, well, Gibson with that 92-yard fumble recovery, and all of a sudden you're thinking if they get this extra point, they're ahead 14-13. But really, Windsor was controlling play at that point anyway. They kick it up to the 20, 25, out to the 30, out to the 35. Forder still going. And it's a pretty good field position here. Cooper Harvey with the return. You're right, man. That kid does it all, doesn't he?
He sure does.
You don't always see quarterbacks returning kickoffs.
No.
So
both of these quarterbacks are, you usually get a young man at that position, and at these schools, the coaches trust them.
Yep.
They're the best athletes. Put the football. Yeah,
it's like the pitchers are always the best hitters in high school too. So here we go. Fairfax in dire need of something and fast. They pick up about 3 or 4 there. As Gibson carries it, Sean Gibson. And Worrell, another tackle. He is doing it all. A 3-touchdown fourth quarter, and we're barely halfway through it for him.
Oh, he's coming out.
He's a senior. What a way to go.
Looks like he's cramping up too.
4 touchdowns for the senior running back. Not much on that one either. Maybe a yard out past the 45. Zapsky on the carry.
BFA has gone to, it seems like that quick pitch, that toss is really what they're trying to get into that BC gap. Allow that slot that's already there to get a block in, and either allow the fullback or the guy in motion to pin and kick out and try to create a seam.
And the give on a sweep, and breaking one tackle, getting out to midfield, and if he can stay in bounds, he might go. He is still in bounds, and all the way down to the 20, first down, Fairfax. Sean Gibson finally breaks one from the backfield. Although the Windsor coaching staff pointing around the 35-yard line, I was amazed he was still in bounds, or was he? We'll see what they call. Yeah, they're going to give it to him, although they say he stepped out a little ways back. They're putting it down at the 27.
Yeah, he was able to tightrope the sideline there. A couple of the coaches thought he was out, maybe stepped out at the 45 and then potentially the 35, and he tightroped his way down the sideline, and that's put BFA in a position where they can get on the board.
First and 10 Bullets, down 22 points, late stages of this one. And the give goes to Zapsky. Good yardage, first down. Had a full head of steam and a couple of big guys in front of him. And he picks up about 11 for another first down. So Fairfax doing exactly what they need to do, and that's move quickly.
Worrell back into the football game on the defensive side of the ball after trying to work that cramp out.
I think that cramp will feel just fine in the morning. Harvey hands it off to Gibson. Nothing doing. Down to the 14. That'll set up a second. And say, okay, you got about 2 there. I didn't think you got anything. They put it down at the 14, I should say.
Yeah, you have to move fast right now. They're still huddling. They're going over the sideline to get the play, but they're operating pretty quickly here. You need to, if you have any chance, you got to score quickly here.
Dolan split to the left, and they're going to hand it off. Oh, big hit. Sean Gibson. Wow, ran into an absolute freight train. Gavin Martin was the first one on that hit. And that he'll feel in the morning.
Yes, Fortin was in on that hit too. And again,
yes.
There it is. Your starting quarterback. You're going to put him on the edge, and he's going to go attack the running back on that play. So,
yeah, that was a head-on collision with Fortin for sure. 3:27, as you said, Fairfax huddling up. I think they're just trying to keep the ball away from that offense right now. As turnovers kind of did him in here in the second half, broke open a tie game heading into the fourth quarter. And the pitch goes to Gibson. A tough yard, maybe 1 or 2 to about the 13, but yards hard to come by here for Fairfax, despite the fact that they're in the red zone. It's often the case when you get inside the 20, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, the field condenses and it shrinks, and the running lanes are a little bit tighter, and everything just condenses down there for sure.
So this is truly last call for the Bullets here if they're going to get themselves into a miracle comeback situation, down 3 touchdowns with 2.5 minutes left to go. But first things first, let's get the first down here for them. And the pitch goes to Gibson. And Gibson gets smacked down at the 10-yard line. There is a flag on the play.
Looks like it's in the area of holding, so we'll see what the...
Would assume Coach Balch will decline that one, and we'll have a little V formation here. They might hand it off a couple times, but let's wait in the call first.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
That's an automatic first down, so that'll extend the drive here.
It's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. Hold the phone. 2:26 to go. First to goal, what I would guess would be the 5-yard line. There it is.
So what we've seen the last couple drives is this toss play. So bringing one of the slots in motion and trying to overload a side and tossing it to the back.
Gibson and Zapsky in the backfield. Quarterback Cooper Harvey trying to get there's just no room. And that's been the case a lot this afternoon. Windsor deep. We keep talking about them putting up 50 points every game. It's been the defense today.
Yeah, they've been outstanding. Again, going back and forth. That time they went back to the veer. I was thinking here comes the toss again, and they went back to the veer, and it didn't fool the Windsor kids at all. They were very disciplined on their assignment.
When they are determined not to give up this touchdown, despite the fact that they have the game completely under control. This drive has been an absolute root canal for BFA Fairfax. And the give goes to Gibson. Falls forward close to the goal line. He's very close, but he's not in.
I really liked what he did there. Anytime you get close to the goal line like that, that's no time for dancing. He put his pads down and put his foot in the ground and got as low as he possibly could, and really didn't dance, just went north and south towards the end zone.
Coming up on 1 minute left to go. Fairfax trying to stick one in here to make it a little more representable score, although they've got nothing to hang their heads about. Ooh, big hit. Look at that. So that's going to set up a 4th down and goal now.
Is that Worrell?
It was Gavin Martin, 33. I think Worrell was in there too. But boy, you talk about some great two-way players.
No doubt. I mean, they're just as good down there on the goal line on the other side as they are on defense.
Yeah, you totally get why this team's won so many games in a row. And they are not losing much, as we've mentioned several times. Only 8 guys, although I'll tell you what, we've mentioned all 8 of them several times in the broadcast. They are big players on this team. As the Windsor fans coming up now, it's going to be a 4th and goal at the 1-yard line. 15 seconds left to go in this one. Quarterback sneak, running, bowling forward. We got a flag on the play from the back. Let's see what the call is. As Cooper Harvey was trying to get into the end zone.
Looks like he got into the end zone, but we'll see what the flag.
And as the sun starts to fade down, it's just about time to turn the lights on here at Alumni Field.
I also desperately want to tell Coach Bulge to be on the lookout for the Gatorade jug.
Oh, there it is. There's the Gatorade. Stealthy lineman. Avery Bean in there. Along with number 72, Dante Roy, scheming behind the poor innocent coach who suspects nothing. It's not like he hasn't had this happen before, This will probably, barring a flag, be the final play of the season.
Well, this is the touchdown stood.
Oh, okay.
And now they chose to assess the penalty for this 2-point try, because this will get it to 21 and make it 14. Of course, we'll have an onside kick that will.
In all my years of doing football play-by-play, I've never completely missed a touchdown call. It's a good thing you're here. Oh, yeah, look, they have 19 up on the scoreboard. How'd that happen? So here we go. 2-point play, and
he's in.
They are in. So Fairfax makes it 35-21 with 8.5 seconds left to go. So if you're a coach here, do you tell the kid receiving this kickoff to just run around, go sideways, kill the whole clock if you can, and not force the offense back out onto the field for one play?
Yeah, if you can, right? Like the number one thing you want to do here is just possess this, right? Like I don't know if they're going to attempt the onside kick here or not. I would put the hands team out, put one guy deep, right? And if you just have to possess this right now, and then it's a knee.
Well, that's true. I'm not assuming an onside kicker with a 2-touchdown lead and 8 seconds left, but you're right. There's certainly the possibility of that existing. 35-21 Windsor. Looks like they're going to go back-to-back. How about that for the seniors on this team? Back-to-back undefeated championship seasons. Wow. Whew. That's something to tell your grandkids about.
That's for sure. And there's a, like as you go into the off season too, there's a lot of expectations to live up to, right? Like the next group that's coming up, they have those expectations, and they don't want to be that class that gives that streak up, and so you definitely have some momentum.
Yeah, the only guys they're losing are Mason Fortin. They're losing Peterman, their good receiver, and they're losing Travis McAllister. A couple of guys on the line, too. But other than that, all these kids are back. So let's see what they decide to do. Nice to see Hugh Johnson III out there kicking off. He's hobbled off the field a couple of times today, but he's out there right now to kick it off. And he will do an onside kick. It's picked up, 45-yard line, and that'll do it, 7.8. Windsor will take a knee, and they are going to win another Division III state championship, and the party will be on here at Alumni Field. So Fairfax with another outstanding season, but they just, you see that so much, especially in the lower divisions. There's always a really good number 2 team, but they just can't seem to climb up over that dominant number 1 team, and that's what's happened.
For sure.
And obviously MAU was able to do it in the first game today, but unfortunately the Fairfax Bullets couldn't do it today, as they're going to lose this one 35-21.
And there's nothing to be ashamed of. I know those young men feel disappointment right now because they get to this point. You don't want to lose this game, but it's still quite an accomplishment to get to this point. So,
and Coach Balch now soaked to the bone. Luckily, it's not snowing like last year, as Windsor claims another unbeaten, untied championship season, as the Windsor Yellow Jackets are the Division III football state champions here once again with a 35-21 victory. We'll take a quick break and come right back with a quick post-game show here in just a moment on the NFHS Network.
At Price Chopper and Market 32, we want to help you shop smart to get the best quality and value for you and your family. That's why we created more ways to save. Just use your Advantage card to save your way with weekly specials, price chops, lowdowns, stock-up savings, fair to compare, and Advantage rewards. Now that's smart shopping. More ways to save at Price Chopper and Market 32.
We're back here once again. The final is Windsor and BFA Fairfax going through the handshake line, and they can't wait to get to the end of that line if you're Windsor. Want to be with your teammates and let the celebration begin as they win 35-21. And Mark, just thinking about this one, second half turnovers, and Windsor did not make any mistakes off those turnovers. They wasted absolutely no time off the turnovers and pulled away for a fairly easy win.
Right, and the game was, like you said, I think Windsor had control of it and had it in hand. However, the scoreboard wouldn't tell you that, and they were able to take advantage of those turnovers that they were able to get, and then they made this one a no-doubter, right? Like at the end of all this thing, they were able to punch those things in, and they were able to get to the type of running attack that they wanted to be in, and they've been on a pretty fantastic run.
We'll send it down to the field in just a second. I do want to remind you that you've heard it from us, but we'll say it again. Traffic safety is a team sport. Don't ride without a seatbelt, and ask others in your vehicle to buckle up too. Buckle up to and from your team's events. Let's get home safely together. Coach Murniak, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
A lot of fun this afternoon. Thanks to Sammy. Brilliant as always on camera. I'm Rich Haskell. The final score once again, Windsor 35, BFA Fairfax Lamoille 21. You've been watching the Division III Football Championship here on the NFHS Network.
State Championship trophy in medals is Lauren Thomas, representative for the Vermont Principals Association, and Sean Farrell, chairman of the VPA Football Committee. At this time, I ask the coaches from BFA Fairfax Bullets to come forward to receive the runner-up individual award. Thank you guys. Would the captains please come forward on behalf of the Vermont Principals Association? We would like to present this plaque symbolizing the 2022 Vermont Division III football runners-up. Congratulations. At this time, we ask Coach Greg Fulch and your staff at Windsor Yellow Jackets to come forward to receive the state championship trophy and individual awards. We now invite the captain and head coach to please come forward on behalf of the Vermont Principals Association. We would like to present the trophy and the game ball symbolizing the 2022 State of Vermont Division III Football State Champions. Thank you all for attending today's game.
Ask me without blasting him. What are you saying? I sound horrible? Hello. Test. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Hey, we're here live at Rutland High School. Test 1, 2. Ooh, is that going to sound distant? Yeah.
Test 1 2 test. Sammy, check in that box and see if there's a mic holder. It would be in one of the little bags, actually.
Oh, I see. That would be bad. Yeah. You have big time technology. That's way beyond the VTK.
Right. I don't know.
So there are going to be times where WVTK is mentioned here.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right. I'll try not to just constantly.
No, it would be in that box. I mean, in the big plastic box, in one of the little bags in that. I'm sorry. I was unclear. I want to just take that. I usually bring a clamp. Let me see if I have my clamp. Go this way. Work better like this, I think.
This.
Yeah.
That may be easier to clamp, or you could put this in that.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do this. I want your crowd mic. I think your crowd mic will be good, so I'll just.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll get out of your way as quick as I can.
No, no worries at all. We're trying to hope you get set up work good on our end. We timed that better than back in the day. That's gonna be nice.
I think their Wi-Fi is good here. I don't have the password though.
Well, we got our little jetpack here. That should be giving us what we need.
Yeah. That seems pretty solid to me.
That does look good, and it'll be pointing right at Rich.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's louder. I should have it probably in between. I'm guessing you're not as loud as he is.
No.
You know,
I always have his input down compared to mine.
Yeah. I'm going to do this. We won't tell him that he's loud, but I'm going to sneak it over toward you a little more. Because I'm guessing it'll pick up him fine. And
all right, well, we'll give you a test here. I'll get him back over here.
Test 1 2 test test.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? 1 2.
I can.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay. I'll get Rich over here in 1 second. Once I get us there.
You are watching. Yeah, I can hear me. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2.